Steven Schoenfeld, founder and CIO of BlueStar Global Investors, a financial research firm specializing in Israel. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange partnered with BlueStar to create the Israel Global Technology Index. 57 companies, a market cap of $75 billion. This is the first of its kind, right?
Yes, the TASC BlueStar Israel Global Technology Index, also known as TA Biggie Tech, includes Israeli technology companies from Tel Aviv, London, NASDAQ, and NYSE. The idea is a global index that includes Israeli technology companies irrespective of where they're listed. Therefore, it's the broadest, the deepest, and the most complete benchmark for the startup nation.
And do you think the index will help attract capital to Israel?
We believe so, as does the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. We think that investors are dramatically underweight public Israeli tech companies in their portfolios. You can look at any sector of technology innovation, and there are Israeli companies at the cutting edge of it. Yet most technology indexes, most technology index products, most technology mutual funds do not have the right amount of Israeli tech, so we do believe that it will make a big contribution.
Now, the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange is proposing new measures to attract more companies. Talk to us about those rules, and what do you make of them?
So the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange has got a number of initiatives, of which TA Biggie Tech is one of them. Another is to create a middle market where younger tech companies can do their initial IPO in Israel at the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, and then depending on how they grow, they could dual list on NASDAQ or London. So we think this has a lot of potential, and with the Israeli elections now behind us, the new government is very likely to fast track the legislation that needs to take place to make this happen.
Now, your index, BlueStar Global, is up 6.8% since the start of the year. That's higher than the S&P 500's 2% rise. What's driving the rally?
Well, technology stocks in general around the world have outperformed, just as in the US technology stocks have. So the BlueStar Israel Global Technology Index has outperformed the S&P. It's also outperformed the broad Israel indexes, such as the BlueStar Israel Global Index, which is broader. So we think as long as technology outperforms, we'll see the TA Biggie Tech outperform.
And for US investors who want in on Israel's tech scene, what should they know? Where do they begin?
Well, the first place is to learn. So one of the reasons we launched this index is so that people can take a look and see how many leading tech companies that may be household names to them are actually Israeli. The next step is to take some kind of investment action. Right now on the New York Stock Exchange, there's an ETF with the ticker ISRA. It tracks the broad-based BlueStar Israel Global Index, and we hope before the end of the year there will be an ETF that tracks the TA Biggie Tech as well.
Now, of course, political stability is an important factor when investing. How should investors factor in the tense relations between the U.S. and Israel? And what do you make of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's re-election?
So Israel's a democracy, and the Prime Minister won the election. He's going to create the coalition that will be a broad-based coalition of the center-right. The current tensions between the White House and the Prime Minister's office are heavily personal, in my opinion. The broad interconnections between the US and Israel, people-to-people, investment, tourism, trade, culture, are undiminished and are going to be greater in 2015 than they were in 2014. We don't see any change on the ground. Furthermore, even as the Middle East is in turmoil and you have geopolitical risks all over, Israeli stocks and Israeli capital markets are tuned more to the global economy. That's why over the past 10 years, Israel's been one of the best performing developed markets despite all of the chaos in the region. So investors need to invest and focus on the economy, and that will guide them well when looking at Israel.
Steven Schoenfeld, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.